and uncomfortable for me, like personally. I don't know if anything is going to come of this. I don't know if this is going to do anything for me. For some reason, I've just been feeling like I should talk about it, and these YouTube videos are like therapeutic for me because I get to like talk out all my feelings or whatever and potentially connect to someone else who might be feeling the same way. But this video is about faith in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, right? I don't know how to go about something like this because I am not an expert in that area. I think the reason this is uncomfortable for me is because I've always had this notion that I would be like judged for being a Christian because there are so many negative stereotypes about Christianity that I don't feel like I fit. I'm just diving right in, by the way. I think I've struggled with like, oh, am I really a Christian if I don't fit those stereotypes? But those are not stereotypes that I want to fit. And I also don't think that there's any specific definition of what that looks like. And I think it's different for everyone. I think it's unfortunate because I feel like there are Christians who have set those stereotypes. There's even a negative connotation, I feel like, with the word Christian. And it just sucks because like those negative things, and I've always known this, those negative things, those negative stereotypes that come with that are not at all who Jesus is. It wasn't something I wanted to be associated with, but I was like deep down, like I've always been a believer. I've always believed in God. I grew up Catholic, but I call myself a Christian now because I just am. Also, I have like notes. That's what I'm looking at on my computer because I like wrote out all my talking points. It makes me sad that there are so many people who have been hurt by Christianity or by specific Christians in general. And so I think that's why it was never something I wanted to like speak about out loud, because to put it quite plainly, I was embarrassed. Like, I feel like that's really bad to say about something like this, but I have been embarrassed. There's no need for that. It's really just the fact that like there are some not so great people out there who have said these stereotypes about Christianity, and it's just sad. Unfortunately, Christianity has become controversial, and so I don't like talking about controversial topics. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm here to like be a friend. I'm here to make you giggle, make you forget about whatever else is going on in your life, but also like be that relatable bestie. Like that's what I want my channel to be, and controversial topics don't do that. I don't think they do that. So I just never wanted to talk about this, but for some reason it's just been like on my mind of like, should I talk about it? Should I not? And so I think now I just kind of figured maybe I should, because it scares me, if that makes sense. They always say like, if you're scared, do it, you know? So this YouTube video is going to hold me accountable. It's going to make it so that we are on this journey together. You're not alone, I'm not alone, and it also will just like let you know and make you feel more comfortable and me feel more comfortable about the fact that this is not, it's not linear, it's not the same for everyone. A lot of people struggle with it more than you think. So like I said, I've always been a believer, but I want and need to make God a bigger part of my life. I want this to be good and pure, and I don't want any negativity or hatred in the comments. That is just not, that's not what I stand for. I don't like that. There's no need for it, regardless of like how controversial you think this topic is. Let's not make it so, because it doesn't have to be that way, right? So basically, I'm going to be talking about a couple things that I am going to be implementing in my own life in order to grow closer to God. I have about 6 things. I am a beginner here, by the way, and I have felt that way for years. I have, like I said, I've always been a believer, but I've always also felt like a beginner. So I want to let you know that these are not things that I already do consistently. They're not. I have done these things before, but I have never done these things consistently, but they're things I want to do consistently. And so that's why we're doing this. It's gonna hold me accountable. Maybe if I put it out into the world, it'll make me like actually do it, because I'm like, oh, people maybe are counting on me, or maybe people are doing this with me, and so I should probably do it. So let's just dive right in to the 6 things that I'm going to try to implement into my life. I've already started some of these things, but like I said, we're not consistent. We're not, and we should be. So number 1 is to listen to worship music every morning and every night. It's one of those things that I love. It makes me feel good. They're like actually good songs, yet I don't listen to it every day, and I cannot understand why. It's like working out, where like you finish a workout and you're like, wow, I feel great, that was awesome, I should do that more often, and then you don't. Like, I don't know why our brain like doesn't put 2 and 2 together of like, this is really good for me, this is healthy, this makes me feel good, and then you don't do it consistently. I think what it comes down to, and this, we are being transparent here, we're being truthful, because there is no such thing as a perfect person, but to just say it, I think the reason that I don't listen to it daily is because I would rather listen to other music. Just to put it bluntly, like that's how I was feeling, but it doesn't make sense, because when I do listen to worship music, I feel great and I really enjoy it. So it's like, don't understand the way that that like works in my brain. I'm actually going to a worship concert with Micah tomorrow. Even if it's not morning and night, I want to implement at least one worship song a day. It's such a beautiful thing. Why not, you know? I actually made my alarm a worship song. I did Oceans, which is like probably the most basic worship song there is, but it starts off like really slow and pretty. And that's one little tip if you are wanting to implement more worship music into your life as well. Set it as your alarm for anything, you know? I feel like that's a good idea, I don't know. Next on my list is to always be doing one of those little plans in the Bible app. I'm doing one now. Like I said, we're being transparent. So the one I'm doing right now is one that I started on like April 8th, and it is now April 18th. And it was an 8-day thing. It was an 8-day plan. And I am on day 2. Or I just did day 2 like 2 days ago. So when I tell you I'm not consistent, I mean it. But I want to be. Like I did day 1 like the day before Easter, and I was like, all right, 8 days, like that's not bad, let's do it. And they don't take long. They probably take like 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, and I'm always on my phone, and that's where the app is. So it's like, why would that be so hard for me to do? I don't know. It was an 8-day thing. I should be done with it now, but I'm on like day 3. So I just want to always be doing one of those little plans in the Bible app. I feel like they're really good, and then if I fail to implement worship music or fail to implement anything else, I at least did that 5-minute thing. Number 3 is to go to church more. And that one I feel like has been a little bit tough for me, just because a lot of my friends live far away from me. I'm like, I want to go with someone. I don't want to go by myself. And I could go with my mom or my sister, but like they're not always available is the thing. You know what else it is? Transparency at its finest right here. I want to sleep in on a Sunday. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, that is the way that my brain has been working. Here we are again. When I go, I feel good, so why not be consistent with it? Just doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. This is therapeutic for me because I talk out loud. Then I kind of like find the answers to my own problems during filming a YouTube video like this. What I could do is watch sermons online. There are so many, I think ever since COVID started, there are so many churches that do live stream, or they'll post it eventually or something. Like, I could just do that. I'm already watching a screen all the time. If I want to lay in my bed, I can, and I could just put it on YouTube or wherever those exist. Like, that's such an easy fix, and it's not like that just came to me. I've known that that's a possibility. Why haven't I done it? I don't know. Again, we're here to be accountable, we're here to get better, and we're gonna do it together. Next on that list is to pray more. Every night, at least. I actually have always done this pretty much, like since I was little. It's kind of something I always do, but again, I'm not consistent with it. So I just want to get better about that, and also become like a better prayer, because I'm not a pray out loud kind of person. Like, if I'm in a group setting and someone has to pray, it's never me. I get so uncomfortable. I feel like I'm gonna like stutter, which I do, and not know what I'm saying, which I don't, and I just don't. Again, I'm a beginner, so I like get really uncomfortable. But I want to be, I'm not necessarily like wanting or striving to like pray out loud all the time with other people. That's not even really a goal of mine, I'll be honest. But I want it to be where if I was put in that situation, I wouldn't feel uncomfortable and I could do it. But I think that first starts with getting consistent with praying every night and doing it with just me, myself, and I. And then hopefully over time I'll like get better at it. Practice makes perfect. That's like how that works, right? So yeah, that is number 4. Yeah. And then number 5 is I would like to spend time in the Word at least once a week. I actually have this book called God of Creation. My friend Elizabeth told me about it. She was in my small group. I was in a small group all 4 years of college. It's by Jen Wilkin, and it's a study of Genesis 1 through 11. It's like a whole book on just that, and I feel like it would be a great place to start if you're a beginner. It looks like I've done a couple pages of it. The thing is, I don't really understand how it works. I think there are like videos that go along with it, but I'm lazy and I don't want to watch said videos. I want to just like sit down and do it. But I also don't want this to feel like homework, and I think that's what this felt like. I'm done with homework. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I have to sit down and do my homework. Like, I don't want to do that. So I think I need to find something that will help me spend time in the Word more consistently without it feeling like a chore. I think right now it does, and I don't want it to feel that way. I don't know why it feels that way. I want this to be relatable because I am sure I'm not the only one that feels like this. Please validate me. Watch me be the only one and everyone's like, wow, like you've got a lot of work to do. I know I do. That's why I'm making this video. So I've done a couple pages of that. I'll probably finish it because it's gonna bother me if I don't finish it and I just have it sitting there. But if you do actually have any recommendations for something that I can do, it doesn't even have to be a book. It can just be like, oh, like I followed this plan or something. Like, you know how when you're training for a marathon, there's like a sheet of like, do this today and do this today. Maybe there's something like that out there that you've used that worked for you. Let me know, give me recommendations. I am down to try anything. So that's something I want to do, and I'm setting that goal to be once a week because I know I won't do it every day. I'm hoping that if I get into a routine of doing it every week, then I increase that a couple times a week, a few times a week, almost every day, and then every day. It's gonna take a long time for me to get to every day just because I know myself. I know it's gonna take a long time, but that's the goal eventually. Maybe if it's like a devotional. I've never actually had a devotional before, like one of those little books. I'll be so honest, like I don't even know what you like do in those. Like that sounds like the stupidest thing I've ever said. Like how would I not know what that, I don't know. So maybe there's one of those out there that I can like do or try. Just let me know in the comments. So that's another one. And then number 6 is to just include God, include Jesus in my everyday life. Whether I'm like driving to go grab a coffee, and that could be any one of these. Like that could be me listening to a worship song, it could be me doing a little quick prayer on my way wherever, whatever I'm doing, even if I'm like making my bed. It doesn't have to be a perfect scenario, but just somehow incorporate him. And I think that's all 6 things. I have like nowhere near perfected being a Christian, and I never will. I don't think there's anybody out there that has or ever will. Eventually I would like to get baptized again. I grew up Catholic, like I said earlier, I think. So technically I was baptized as a baby, but I'd love to do it again if that's like allowed or possible. I don't think it's like something I would do yet, and so here is where like my brain gets in my own way because I'm like, oh, like I should be doing all the right things and like get better about this stuff before I get baptized. Like I can't get baptized if I'm not like doing all the right things. That's where my brain is at. I don't think there's a rule book that says I can't just go for it and do it now, but it's just like my brain that's like,
you should probably work on things a little bit more before you like do that.
One of my best friends, Hannah, you guys know her, she has been like an inspiration to me with all this because she recently got saved. I don't know if she like wants me telling the world that, but she got baptized and just has been having a great time, and so it's just been really encouraging and inspiring and so cool to watch too. And I think that's part of why this has also been on my mind a little bit more, because it just kind of shakes things up when someone that you're really close to goes through something so cool like that. Anyway, the last thing that I will say is that I think a huge part of what has been holding me back from all of this, from getting consistent with all the tangible things, holding me back from just embracing what it means to be a Christian and embracing God's love in general, I think it's just been that I feel like I had to do it alone. And I think the whole point is that he is there to walk with you. He's there with open arms. He's like, whenever you're ready, like I'm here. One of the first steps is just accepting the fact that you don't have to do it alone, because you've got Jesus, you've got him, and you also have like a support system, like whether it's your friends or your significant other or your family, your parents, like whoever it is, hopefully there is someone in your life who you can walk through this with. I don't know. I'm walking through it with you guys, right? I do have like a pretty good support group with this stuff. I just should probably be more open about talking about it. If I do my part, he will do his, and like that is so comforting and beautiful, and I love that. So those are my thoughts. So let me know in the comments any of your thoughts. Please keep it positive, because the whole point, I think, of walking with God is love. Obviously he is so much more than that, but love is a huge part of just who he is, and we don't need any negativity here. We're all trying our best. So that's it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like it, comment, subscribe, do all of the things, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.